marathon. How did I overcome mentally the injuries like in 94 when I got the bicep tear? How did I get back into training after that? Yeah, it was very tough because it was 6 weeks before my contest and I had this severe bicep tear. So my initial reaction was, that's it. My career's over. It's only 6 weeks away. This is impossible. That lasted for about 24 hours, and then the more positive side kicked in and said, okay, so you can drop out now, or you can do the best that you can do with your training, with your nutrition and everything, and prepare for the contest. And if you really believe it's not possible, like a week before the contest or something, then you can make the decision to drop out then. So I had to avoid back training or bicep training for a couple of weeks until the inflammation went down. But after that, I could train those body parts very lightly. So I was still training, training around it. I had to change the grip on a lot of my back exercises to more parallel grips. I had to lighten the load, but at least I was doing something to try and maintain the muscle mass. And I was keeping this thing very, very quiet as well. I was not really telling anybody exactly what the injury was or what, how severe it was, because I didn't want people to already, especially judges, already to be having a negative in their mind and looking for it. So I kind of kept it very much to myself. And yeah, I continued with my diet, did the training I could do, did the cardio, and I got to the 94 Mr. Olympia and won it. Of course, the bicep tear was damaging visually, but mainly only in one pose. And the whole stress of being injured and doing this and so on, I'm sure it affected my condition in 94, so it wasn't probably as good as it could be. But a week later at the Grand Prix, I was back into pretty hard shape again, so it was kind of, I got it under control. But yeah, that was tough, very tough, but that's, that's what being a champion is about. When you find out what you're made of is when things get really tough, and that was very tough for me. And even tougher was the tricep injury in 97. But I can look back now and say, I couldn't have done anything more in my training. I couldn't train harder. I couldn't train better. I probably could have trained maybe a little smarter and avoided injuries. We got so much more information now on injuries and injury prevention and specialist treatments for scar tissue and all this stuff. I really didn't have it then, especially in UK. We didn't have anything, so just kind of on my own training. Chris Leyland, hi Dorian, your hard grainy look was down to your training style, or was that just how you turned out? Well, there may be some genetic part of that, but I think the main thing is that I was training heavy, consistently heavy, 6 to 8 reps on most of the upper body, 10 to 12 reps on legs, and I was just training heavy all the time, and my muscles were muscle fiber. You can see the muscle fibers grew and they were thicker, and so you've got that dense look. You've got a different look to a body that trains heavy to a body that trains lighter and does more reps and pushes more blood into the muscle. It's a different look. So that's why I look much more dense than the people on stage I was standing next to, because they were doing higher reps, more pumping. I was doing lower reps, heavy training, and that was consistently for years and years and years. Look at Ronnie Coleman's physique, it's dense. Look at Branch Warren's physique, it's dense. Look at some of the other guys, Dexter Jackson or Flex Wheeler, they don't really have that look. So I believe it's down to the heavy training. Well, there's not, it's not really fair to take people from different eras and compare them, I think, because different knowledge and so on. So I'm sure that myself or anyone in the top tier from the 90s could probably beat Arnold. But then if Arnold was around in the 90s and had all the information and everything available that we had, I'm sure it'd be much better. So it's really a hard question to answer, but one thing's for sure, that Arnold was head and shoulders above everybody in his own era, so that's all you can do. Randy Sides, I have a well-developed chest, back, arms, legs, but my stomach looks bloated. How do I get rid of this bloated belly? Well, it depends what it is, man. If it's body fat, then it's simply cutting down your calories a little bit, maybe doing a little bit more cardio exercise and slowly losing that body fat, which is, my guess is, that's what it is. You can have well-developed muscles, but if they're covered with body fat, they're not going to look very impressive. So you probably want to bring your body fat down by, I would say, work out your nutrition, work out how many calories you're on, and drop about 500 calories a day mainly from carbohydrates, and maybe drop in half an hour of cardio a day, and it should start coming off. If you want to lose body fat, you need to lose it nice and slowly, a couple of pounds a week maximum. How many Olympias would I won without the injuries? Well, it's hard to say, but I can tell you that when I was preparing for the Mr. Olympia in 97, before I had the tricep injury, I had the bicep injury in 94, and I managed to overcome this and didn't really affect my training too much. But I remember during 97 getting ready for the Mr. Olympia, it's the first time I thought to myself, this is starting to be not fun anymore. This is starting to feel like Groundhog Day, like I'm doing the same thing again and again, and how much longer do I want to do this? Do I want to do this again after this year? Or do I want to do something else in life and find out, I'd been living in this bubble for 10 or 12 years of just bodybuilding, just training, and so on and so on. So what else do I want to do in life? I started feeling the yearning, the feeling that I want to do something else. So even without the injury in 97, I'm not sure how many more I would have done. Maybe I would have done one more. But so in 97, I would start to lose my enthusiasm, to be honest. I was still doing it, 100%. What thought was there? How long do I want to do this for? Do I want to do it again? But when I retired in 98, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any more guest posing and so on, because somehow I felt with the injuries, I wasn't able to train properly. I didn't feel good to go on stage and pose and so on. So it was a very abrupt end to the career. In 1980s, the first injury I had was I had a muscle tear on my hip from squatting, and I had no idea what to do, and I had nobody to tell me what to do. And if I went to the doctor, he'd just say, yeah, stop lifting weights. No, that was the kind of advice you got. Take a painkiller, take an aspirin, rest, and that's it. And now I know much more. So I think with the knowledge I have now, I could have avoided some of the injuries, and I could have, the little ones that I had, I could have taken care of them better. So it was partly the lack of information and knowledge and people to help you with this and treatment and so on. Now you can get so much. And partly my personality, my approach, which was just doing 100% all the time and sometimes overruling my body. Maybe my body was giving me signals which I didn't want to listen to. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. And I'm still learning about body function and so on all the time. So I enjoy learning. I read a lot about nutrition, about anatomy and body function and so on. So I'm still learning. I think you can keep learning all your life.